Hello and welcome to The Rabbit Hole with me, Graham Hughes, and I'm joined, as always, by Rachel Harris. How you doing, Rach? Yeah? Don't like West Streeting? Fair enough, I don't like West Streeting either. We're not supposed to be talking about politics. This is our non-politics show. We were a bit late getting started then, because we were actually talking politics, and we were like, yeah. Yes, yeah. The American stuff just does my head in though, because it's such copium. It's always like Trump, White House destroyed by memo, and it turns out that someone sent an email that said Trump's a bit of a knob. What's the politics? What's the justice one? What's the law one? Legal AF, because that's mine is touch linked, isn't it? Stop it. Just stop with the clickbait fucking, Trump devastated, Trump split asunder by a huge revelation. Oh, hang on. We've got no sound for you. Oh, yeah, that's my fault probably. I don't know. I've just updated Windows, so yeah, sorry. Let me just sort that out so you can hear Rach. Oh, it changed. Oh. Yeah, you were. It changed the output for you. Go on, speak again.
Wow.
There you go. Yeah, you're on.
Said about West Streeting.
Someone's asking us if we can do some BSL. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I normally have OBS set up for all my shows. Don't have to worry about it. And Windows has just updated today, and it decided that it would reset the desktop audio to default, which doesn't fucking work. Doesn't fucking work, mate.
It doesn't work. Well, never mind. We were just talking about American politics and all the channels that he's, Trump really fucked up, and he hasn't. He dropped the tissue.
This is why the chat is so good. This is why the chat is amazing. We love you in the chat.
Yeah.
Now, if you'd like to join the chat, what you can do is you can get a time machine and go and subscribe this morning.
Yeah.
And then by the time this comes around, you'll be able to comment. Yeah. If you're not already subscribed and you weren't already subscribed,
that's to protect me.
You won't be able to comment because, we have a strict no trolls policy here on this. We
have wonderful. We have one wonderful invigilators keeping an eye on it all.
We do. We have One Angry Pagan. We also have Diz in there as well, keeping One Angry Pagan with. He's got the hammer. He's got Thor's hammer. And he brings down Thor's hammer down on the trolls if we ever get any. They do a great job. So thank you very much to Diz and One Angry Pagan out there. But yeah, sorry about muting Rachel. Stealing your voice.
I'm used to it. I'm trans. I live in the UK. Everyone's stealing my voice.
What do you think of the idea of the BBC having a policy that every time Trump is on the BBC or Farage, they have to have someone who's just like a helium balloon to repeat what they're saying?
Yeah, well, it's like when I'm Irish, so they did that to poor old Jerry Adams. He was like,
that's what I mean, like Jerry Adams
the budget
style.
Seed. Oh, we're going to really get you now. We're really unhappy about that. And it was like, he doesn't talk like that. He did that. So they could do that to Trump and Farage. A frog noise or something, I'm Farage. Hello.
So, Rach, today we're going to be talking about cars, as Gary Newman once sang.
It's like Gary Newman is ringing because Cars, the famous song, and all my friends are electric, and they generally are now. So boom, but for copyright,
I'm not actually real. I'm just AI.
Exactly. Well,
someone typed in an AI prompt, annoying ginger scouser, and here I came. Ta-da! Just blinked into existence.
Mad Irish woman, me.
Sarah's in the chat. Hey, Sarah. Russ, even. Hi, I rushed my dinner. See, well, I got the rush and the Russ mixed up there. Yeah. Russ rushed his dinner to make it for the chat about cars. I have a selective special interest in cars. So do you want to get going on this? Because I need to adjust my camera because I keep doing these shows. My camera keeps going out of focus because it's on autofocus. I need to set it to manual focus, which will take me a second, right? Because I've got to press the buttons on the side of the camera. So while I'm doing that, if it's not too distracting, Would you like to tell us about your first car, Rach?
My first car.
Your first car.
Right. My first car. It was my brother's car originally in 19. He had it in. So my first car was a Mark 1 Escort. It was H Reg, original H. So it was 1969. It was rusty as fuck. And my brother handed it to me, and it was.
Hang on, I just got to stop you there because I didn't realise that the the screen that comes up on my camera.
Yeah,
it was just going out to everyone. Everyone could see me adjusting the settings of my camera.
Yeah, I could see it too. I thought that was just me.
That was boss. People are finding out how the sausage is made. Anyway, sorry, go on about your first car.
So
tell me.
So I was 17. I passed my driving test when I was 17.
Oh, you little show off!
I know, first time. Only 5 lessons because I
passed it when I was 17.
Well, there you go then.
But it was my third time. So.
Oh well, there you go. I live in the countryside, right? So I drove around fields and things in old broken cars. I had an old 59 Mini I used to drive around the field in.
First time I had to drive around Crosby that I don't even know very well in the middle of winter, and it was like icy conditions, and I didn't know how to turn the blower on to make the windows unmist, and it was, oh my God. And I went down a one-way road, not the wrong way, but I didn't realise it was a one-way road because I didn't know the area. And I got to the end of it, and my driving examiner, she said, turn right, and I was in the left lane.
Oops.
I should have been in the right lane to turn right, and that was it. 30 seconds in, it was all over. It was all over.
I learned to drive in an Astra Mark 1, which was great, but
brilliant.
But my driving test was in a Nova Mark 1, which was completely fixed to not go faster.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they were the driving instructor. Yeah,
so was your first car an Astra?
No. I learned to drive. That was my driving lessons were in.
Oh, because my first car was an Astra. Sorry.
Hey, it's a good car.
It is. It went like shit off a shovel. 1.6 litre engine. It was insane.
Oh yeah, mum was. Yeah, it was a blue one. I learned, and I took the test in a Nova, which was been obviously rigged to do the job by the driving school because it wouldn't go faster than 50. But and there was a little sticker on the back window for when you back round the corner. It stayed on the line.
I need that still when I'm doing parallel park, and I need those little stickers. So I'm
can't park anymore. I'm terrible at parking. My wife has to park my cars now. I used to fly an airplane and everything. And I'm really good at. I can do all that stuff, and and now all of a sudden, as I've got older, my whole sort of spatial awareness is bollocks. And the older I've got, and the cars, as I've got older and better cars, they've got all this parking shit, and I'm still terrible at it.
I'm awful at parallel parking.
I get out and let my wife park it now.
There's a button on our car. It'll park itself. Apparently,
there's one of mine.
We've never pressed it.
I don't trust it.
No, I've never pressed it.
I've never pushed it.
It's there. It's an option, but it's like.
No, I'm not pushing that. It's like I used to have a Mini. Well, come on to the cars I had later, but I used to have a Mini Cooper, and there was a button in the roof.
I love Mini Coopers.
Which is you press if you crash.
Like a distress.
Yeah, the distress button.
But would you press
I never pushed it. And I used to open the door, and Emma would my wife would get really, oh, don't push it. Oh, and I'd go near it. And one day I did. I went, well, what the fuck does that do? And I pushed it, and it was a BMW Spanish, BMW, it was Spanish. The call center's in Spain. And he's like, hello, have you all had a crash? And up comes on the screen, on the satellite screen, your location. And I went, no, I'm just testing it. And he said, that's okay, sir. And he hung up, and I went, oh. So maybe my Mini's transphobic.
How come the Spaniard sounded like Jimmy Stewart?
You can only get a few impressions.
My friend
Harvey. He called me sir. I was like, I'm transphobic in my own Mini.
God damn it.
Like, wow. So I'm not. No, if I do crash, I'm never going to push the button. I've got my current EV's got one, and I'm not pushing it. Because I'm not going to get the BMW transphobic service.
Yeah, fuck that. So you learned in an Astra, you passed in a Nova. What was your first car?
Mark 1 Escort, 1970. It was Rust Bucket my brother owned. He went on to get an orange Marina coupe. and I had this Mark 1 Escort, and it was classic. I mean, these cars are worth a lot now. Yeah. And it was 1300, and the exhaust manifold leaked. It was deadly. Anyway, I had the rust done. I had the seals done, and I took it. That was my first car at 70. It was really cool when I was doing my O levels at Tech College, and I had this Mark 1 Escort, and it was really. And I had a white door mirror that I put on it. Oh yeah, and I put an insulation black stripe down the side. And then the engine went. So my dad put a Cortina engine in it, a 1600 Cortina engine.
Yeah.
On a 1300 Escort gearbox, and we discovered it had a 1.1 Escort axle. So it used to go 0 to 60 in about 7 seconds and
Yeah.
would take an XR3 off the
Yeah.
light, but it would only do 78 miles an hour. And it had a
Because
twin
the gears you didn't have a fifth gear.
No,
No, you
and
would have
it
four
made loads
gears
of
on there.
noise. And they had a twin stroke Weber. It used did about 19 to the gallon.
You're not supposed to go faster than 70 anyway.
No,
And can we make this very clear, right? Anyone watching this, as we all now know, because we use Google Maps whenever we go anywhere, driving past the speed limit only gives you an extra 3 minutes on your journey. Like 3 minutes, you save 3 minutes, right? If you want to get there faster, drive at the speed limit. Just don't stop at the services. That's how you get there. Right. But also, it makes you more likely to be in a collision, a fatal collision at that.
Today is a good day to die.
Which will not only make you late, it will make you very, very fucking late because you'll be dead. Thank you very much to Ivan Ambrose for the £20 super chat. That's very kind of you.
Thank you.
Ivan, lovely Ivan. I medically can't drive now, but I passed my test in 2003. Third time lucky. Woo, woo, woo. Same as me. At 19 years old, my first car was a Peugeot 309. 1.3 litre petrol. It had a manual choke, which was a nightmare, and it had no power steering. Terrible car, really. Yes. So the first two tests I did in a car that didn't have bloody power steering, and then the third one I did it in a little Nissan Micra. I fucking loved that Micra. I did it in a little Nissan Micra, and it had power steering, and I passed. It makes life so much easier when you're not.
Oh my god! Yeah,
The second time I failed because I wasn't checking the mirrors enough. I wasn't checking, and it's because I had to turn the fucking wheel 17 times to like move a little bit to the left.
Driver.
It was like sorry. Yeah. So you had a Escort
Mark 1.
Mark 1.
Yeah, classic car, and I sold it because the suspension came up through the wing ultimately. And the front. Yeah. So I then went on to a Mark 1 Golf 1975. 10 years old when I got it though. Bright orange. It'd been resprayed 100 times. So when you rubbed it down, you went through about 11 coats of paint.
Excellent. Did you rub it down or did you leave it orange?
No, I rubbed some of the rust down on it. I bought all the. I was really good at wiring because I was an avionics engineer, as you know, in defense. So I fitted proper fog lamps in the wiring loom and driving lamps on it, and I made it all look like a GTI. I had red lines down the side. I put the extra spot lamps on it. It looked like a GTI Mark 1, even though it was only I think it was 1100. And I loved it. And I wrote that off in a spectacular head-on collision with a 4x4 Sierra.
Wow. Is this the life cycle of a Golf? It comes off the production line, somebody gets it, soups it up, paints it orange, go faster stripes, big fucking sill at the back, just get an engine that's too big, and then they wrap it around the lamppost.
Yeah, I wrapped it into a 4x4. I wrote the 4x4 Sierra off, and it was brand new.
Oh dear! So you're the reason my insurance is so expensive, Rich. Is that you? Is that you?
Technically, wasn't my fault. I mean, it was.
I was only driving on the wrong side of the motorway. I mean, we've all done it.
We have. I mean, the only thing about this, the Golf, was that it was one of the first cars to have a crash cage. And had it not, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today because it was a cube after the crash.
Yeah.
And
that made such a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, from when you passed your test onwards, that is when like safety really started coming in, isn't it? Because I'm old enough to remember when you didn't have to wear a safety belt in the back of the car. And there was pushback at the time about having to wear bloody safety belts in the back of a car. And they ran these adverts where there was a kid in the back of the car and there was the mum driving and it was like, this is Elaine. Elaine knew her killer. And then they crash. And because the kid in the back isn't in a safety belt, the speed at which they go into the back of the seat that their mum's in, and they morph into like an elephant. Probably the special effects weren't as good as they would have been now, but like the kid morphed into an elephant because it was the impact of an elephant running into you basically at 30 miles an hour, something like that. But a lot of safe stuff. Airbags, when I started off, airbags were few and far between.
I've never had cars with airbags and ABS until it comes a lot later in my life because I've had shit boxes right
Yeah.
up to because I liked them. I like to do work on cars, so I always bought rubbish.
Did you ever worry about an airbag going off when you're wearing your glasses? Because I worry about this. I've never been in a crash, so I don't know. Well, I have, but I was a kid and I was in the back, and
I don't think it's going to do the thing you think it's going to do. I think
it's not going to like ram my glasses into my face.
I don't know. I don't think they do that.
Sort of glasses shaped.
I've never had one go. I mean, I had an old. Well, I'll come on to it, but I had a car that I was banging away on the dashboard with a hammer trying to get at something and realized I was trying to force this door open because I was trying to get to a blend motor on a heating. I was hitting the airbag like fuck with this hammer. It was 15 years old and it didn't go off. So I was like, oh,
well, I was always the one who people would call on if they locked the keys in the car or lost the keys. It was always me. I mean, to be fair, right, this is nothing to do with being Scouse.
You're from Liverpool?
I knew you were going to say that.
No, I thought that was what you were implying.
Go on, get your Scouse key, Graham. Oh, look, it's a crowbar. No, Mr. Jimmy. No, because I worked at my dad's garage, so we knew how to get around cars. We knew how to start them without having the key, basically, and how to get into them. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a bit harder now because of modern cars, but back in the day, it was literally give me a wire coat hanger, and I could just shove that down.
I remember that because you used to have the knobs. Like Dolomites were really easy. Dolomites were because they had a lovely little pillar on the door with a lovely little dome, sort of dome, so you could put a little loop in a coat hanger and go The 70s were great. All the keys fitted all the same cars anyway. I mean, my dad had a Princess.
Yeah.
I was a kid, and we were on holiday in France, and he locked the keys.
Your dad had a Princess.
Yeah, he had two princesses.
Oh yeah. Cavorting with royalty, were we?
Yeah. He had a princess, and I mean, all the guys.
Who made a princess? Who made that car?
Austin. Well, it was Leyland, British Leyland.
Leyland made a princess.
He had a 2.2 princess, and then he had a 2-litre princess. It was a company car.
Yeah.
All the guys in his dad's company had Cortinas. Everybody had a Cortina, and my dad, being different, had a princess. And then when they all got promoted and later in life, all his mates had Granadas, and my dad had a Rover.
My mum had a Granada at one point. My dad had a Cortina.
The sweet
we went through cars like you wouldn't, because he'd buy write-offs. He bought an E-Type Jag in the late 60s, which was a write-off. It'd been in a collision, and put it back together again. So E-Type, yay.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I owned a couple of cut and shuts.
I only drove it once, and that was like to back out the driveway and then drive in with my then girlfriend filming to show that I was actually driving an E-Type.
Oh, how funny!
But yeah, I wasn't allowed to go on the roads with it.
I always remember my mum when I was a kid. I was 16 years old. My mum had a Mark III Spitfire, and she had for 20 years. It was the only car she loved. And my mum was 70 years old. She's driving around in a Mark III Spitfire. And then when she was 75, she got an XR2.
Oh, fantastic.
75. Anyway, so I remember jumping in it and backing it out all the way up the driveway onto the grass at the front of the house. I went, yay! And then it sunk into the mud.
Yeah.
And then it went onto the axle. And my dad came home from work and went, you clot.
Pull it off. Sarah's given a list of the cars that she had. She got Lada, Samara, Vauxhall Astra Mark III, Vauxhall Vectra Mark I, Vauxhall Astra Mark IV, Vauxhall Astra Mark IV Shri? Shri? Is that like a Sri Lanka?
Still girl.
We've got Ford Puma, Ford Fiesta Mark IV.
The only car I've loved and never owned. I'd like a 1.7 Thunder Puma. Ooh. Nice. Or a 2000 Millennium, the yellow one, which is all yellow and black. Oh, I love one of those.
I had a mate who had a Lotus Elise, epic car, in my opinion. What was the car? What was James Bond's?
Aston Martin DB5.
No, we had a Lotus in...
Oh, the Esprit. The Esprit S1.
That the Esprit?
S1 Y S Reg in 1977, Spy Love Me.
Yeah. Sorry, it should have been SRI, not
£50,000.
Sorry,
sir. The S1 Lotuses cost 50 grand now.
Wow.
If you can get one, because they're all being broken up to parts.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
So let's go on to number 3. So after I wrote my Golf off, I bought you're not going to know what this is, a Volkswagen Derby.
Fuck, what the... Is that with an A or an E?
I think it was DERBY. It was bright yellow. All my friends called it the Banana Mobile. I could transfer quite a lot of parts off my Golf, including the
Yeah.
sunroof. My dad cut a hole in the top of it and put one of those 80 sunroofs from the Golf. He took it across, got a jigsaw,
Brilliant.
cut a hole in it, dropped the roof in.
You could do that kind of thing in the 80s,
So
couldn't you?
it was a Polo, the Polo Mark One, which was very square with a boot. So it didn't have a hatch; it had a boot,
The
and it
Polo
was
plus boot
it
equals
was an
Derby.
1100S. It had a twin downpipe manifold, a little Weber carburetor, and it went like the clappers. And it's the only car that I have ever been stopped for speeding in. The slowest car I've ever owned was that Derby. In fact, that's not true because the Escort was quite. I was doing 88 miles an hour down the M11, and I went onto the North Circular, and I slowed down to 70, and a police car went past me and nicked me for doing 70 because it was 60.
Yeah.
And all I got was, my mum's got one of these. Oh, I didn't know it could go that fast. Blah blah blah. I had all that anyway. So I got, yeah, they nicked me for 70 and 60, and it was well deserved. But I was in the slowest car I've ever owned. So that was a bit, and I had that car for 3 years. I loved it. I loved it. It was unusual. It was nippy. It didn't go. It went 88 miles an hour was its top speed, and I gave it to my sister, and she wrecked it in a year.
Ah,
So that was it.
that's why you should never give anything to anyone.
No,
So
I loved it.
Who's
I
in this
loved
in the chat? Was this Pete? Pete saying, I stole a car one night to impress a young lady. Didn't get caught. That's very naughty. And you're giving Scousers a bad name.
Yeah. Oh dear. Oh my God.
Pick a key.
So I'm still in my shitbox range anyway. So that was and then when I got my first job, I bought a 5-year-old Orion Gear injection.
Ryan Giggs.
Ryan Gear, yeah, Ryan Giggs.
Ryan Giggs injection.
Yeah, an Orion Gear 1.6 Mark 1. So it's based on the Mark 3 Escort, 1600 engine, injected engine. It had electric heated mirrors and a nice stereo with a joystick, and it had a wind-up sunroof, and it was electric. First car, electric windows. Oh, I loved it. I loved it so much, and it because I was in my first proper job. Yeah, it was like, hey,
Nice.
1980, 88, 89. And I loved that Escort. I went everywhere in it. I just, and you could travel 5 up to bars and nightclubs. You could go 5 up in it. Everyone be comfortable, and it was just, I just loved it. And
that's something you could do back in the day. Just you could put as many kids as you liked in the back of your car.
Yeah.
I seriously remember like me and all my cousins and everyone just piling into the back of the car. It's probably like 7 of us sitting on the back seats. Yeah, and that was fine.
Well, I remember
the 80s were a wild time.
My mum was in the 70s. My mum's best friend had a minivan. It was an ex-Waterboard van. A minivan, and there'll be 8 of us in the back going off to going swimming or something. She hit the brakes. We're all in the front.
Mate's dad used to pick us up in his van and throw us in the back and like go around the fucking corner. We're like flying around. There's nothing to sit on. It was just like literally a transit van.
Oh, it's not on this belted. All the 7 kids all belted up in a SUV. No, we're all rolling about in the back of a Mini that's got a bit of carpet on the bottom. Didn't do us no harm.
I feel though that kids today, you go, oh, did you money cuddled? No, I'd much rather.
They should be safer now.
I mean, safe and
I lost loads of friends. No, it's much better now. No,
well, that's the reason why I don't. So when I was a kid, I used to ride motorbikes all the time. Absolutely loved motorbikes. But then when I was old enough to do a test, I decided against it just because. The other drivers, not that I was worried about my own personal competence necessarily, but the other drivers on the road, they just don't look, they just don't care. They'll change lanes, they'll pop out, they'll indicate and then go the other fucking way. And it only takes one fuck up. If you're in a car, you'll probably be all right. But if you're on a bike, my dad's mates, it was my dad's mates who were in accidents, who were bikers. My dad was a biker. That really, really put me off. I'd love to one day though, just get on a bike.
And have your midlife crisis.
I've had that. Well, that was when I abandoned me island and me speedboat and the bikini girls and came over to here to Durham to be a suburban stepdad. Reverse midlife crisis. I've done that. Maybe in the future, but I'd love to get a motorbike. I'm not too asked about America anymore because it's turned into a fucking cesspool.
Yeah, it's turned into an art.
But Australia, I think I might like to do Australia or maybe New Zealand. Just pot around on a motorbike.
Nice.
But I want an electric bike like an Akira. That's what I want.
The electric bikes are. I mean, I follow a lot of. We'll come on to green cars, but I've got a lot.
We will.
I've got a lot of. The green motorbikes are beginning to really catch on. But I forgot that before I had my Mark 1 Escort. My first car, when I was 16, I rode a 50cc moped for a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
cool.
It was a Peugeot
with an L plate on the back. Yeah.
Yeah, it had an L plate. It was restricted,
yeah.
except when the exhaust pipe fell off, and then it would do 50 miles an hour. But when you had the exhaust on, it would only do 30 miles an hour. And all my friends had unrestricted R-Reg bikes, which like Honda APs and F1 SE fizzies, and those things could do 50. But they were always breaking down because they were so old. They were not. They were all in 1970. We're in the 80s. We're in 1984. They're all running around in 1976, 1977 fizzies and Honda APs. So they took the piss out of my Peugeot 103 moped, which only did 30 miles an hour. But you know what? It never bloody broke down. So I'd always get there first because they were always on the side of the road.
Exactly. You know, it's the tortoise and the hare, isn't it? Sarah says, Graham, don't hate me. I would never hate you, Sarah. But with the 5-pot Focus ST, it's easier to get to Pop and Bang. I'm not having a go at anyone's bloody car because, as we were saying earlier, like we didn't know that they were wrecking the planet. We didn't know that the exhaust was full of lead and it would make old people go mad with anger and fear.
I nobody knew, and I got some horror stories on some of the cars I ultimately ended up getting, which were right smoke boxes, which is why I drive an EV now out of total guilt.
Also EVs are fun. Come on.
Yeah, EVs are the best.
Love my honestly, when you're going uphill and you just put the foot down and it's like, whoa, and you're like,
your legs are in the back and you go, help, I'm not in control, I can't reach the wheel because
you never have to worry about maybe I should be in second. I'm going too fast to be in first. Should I be in second? Should I be in that sort of 0 to 9 miles an hour zone where you're like not quite sure.
James Bond in my EV, it's James Bond in that doing that G-force thing in the Spy Lovely. That's my
where he's zipping around in the things.
It's just that's me in my EV. But okay, so after the Orion, the engine went on the Orion, so I flogged it, and then because it was those CVH engines, rings started to go. So then I bought a Peugeot 205 1.9.
Cool.
The cool one, and I got that in 1992. It was a cut and shot. I didn't know it was a cut and shot.
Oh fuck!
2 cars welded together. Had a new engine. The back was from an older car. The front was the proper 205 GTI. And do you know what? The police took it away. They did an investigation. They couldn't find anything, but they did me a really nice mechanical report on it, which said it was safe. So I gave that to the insurance company, and I drove that car for 20 years.
What? You drove a cut and shot for 20 years?
20 years.
It didn't fall apart.
It did not fall apart. Like the car
at the end of the Blues Brothers.
It wasn't View to a Kill. No, it was that was where the world was, right down the middle.
Right. And so the criminals that made your car did a good job.
Yeah, that's what the police said. And the insurance company covered it. And every year
imagine the busy setting up at your house going, well, one thing I'll say about the criminals is they did a bloody good job.
Did a good welding job on that. And it was. And I told the insurance company every time I insured it every year for 20 years. And I know, do you know what? It never really broke down. It was I enjoyed driving that car even though it was cut and shot. It was lovely. It was black, beautiful wheels. I drove it for 20 years. Never let me down really. It went like the clappers. It handled really, really well. It drove in a straight line, all that stuff. And I had it. And then I think then one day I went out and it was getting a bit old, obviously. And I had it a long time. And I just thought in 2012, I bought a Ford Fiesta ST150, which is 150 brake horsepower Fiesta. It has a 2-liter Mondeo engine in it. And it was 5 years old. I bought it off eBay and it had ABS and something called air conditioning and iron bars in the door and an airbag. I didn't know what the fuck all this stuff was. And I was telling people, it's got airbags and ABS. And everyone's like, yeah, Rach, all fucking cars have got that. And it was like, because I'd be driving this Peugeot, which didn't even have power steering, which was a bitch to turn a 2-liter engine on a front wheel drive Peugeot. But it was lovely. And I loved the fuck out of that ST. It was really quick. It pulled as was quick as the old Peugeot was. Yeah. It felt comfortable. I didn't modify it at all, like everybody does. You see them all modified and horrible now, but I loved it. And I had that car until 20. I had it for 3 years, and then I met Emma, and she was like, oh, you work really hard. Why don't you buy a new car? And for finally, because it took me till my 50s to get a good job.
Yes.
And grow up.
Well, I'm still not there yet. I've never
when you're 50,
bought
it all comes when you're 55.
Car.
You get everything your parents got in their 20s when you're about 55.
The last car I bought was a Nissan Micra back in 2005.
Nice.
And it cost me 200 quid. I then tried to insure it, and the insurance was 300 quid.
Oh, man, that's always the way, isn't it?
Ivan, thank you very much for the £10 super chat, my friend. Ivan's being very, very generous this evening.
Very generous.
My third car was much better. BMW 5 Series. Woo, get you. 523i, the 2.5 litre petrol, straight 6-cylinder, beautiful sounding engine. Loved the car until petrol started going over £1 per litre.
Yeah, that's when it gets painful.
But then it was £82 a litre when Putin invaded them. But we're not talking about that. We're not talking about politics. No. We're not going to mention politics.
Bit political.
One angry pagan saying, ooh, Mazda MX-5. I drove around the Alps in a Mazda MX-5.
Mark 1 Mazdas are lovely with the pop-up headlamps, but they're becoming rarer because I don't know if anybody watches the Alex Autos channel. He did a whole episode on converting them into racing cars, and everybody did. So now they're really hard to get, the Mark 1s.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I'd like to have an electric MX-5. That's what I would.
Yeah, you can get it converted. You can do it.
I know the conversion would cost a fortune, but
well, there you go.
My dream car is an electric E-Type. Nice. Would just be the coolest.
I think they exist. I've seen. I think
you can get them retrofitted now. And just got loads of batteries.
Converted.
Someone was saying, Pete's saying EVs are planet killers by stealth. Not. They run off lithium batteries. The amount of damage that that lithium in all the lithium around the world, like the pollution from digging that off. Well, you don't even dig it; it's just there, isn't it? On the salt plains of Uyuni in Bolivia and elsewhere. It's not even a fraction of 1%. Well, it is a fraction, but it's a tiny, tiny amount of 1% of the pollution put out by all the oil. The oil is the
lithium's not warming the planet up.
No.
But I mean, we can fight the next problem lithium causes down the line. Let's just fix the heating up.
Everyone's got lithium. You got lithium in your batteries for your laptop, for your phone. Yeah. That's all lithium. Your video camera. That's all lithium. Most rechargeable batteries now, lithium.
Well, the maintenance on cars. I mean, the fact is that you throw the engine away when it's gone bang. You don't. The electric cars. You just change the brushes on the motor forever. And that motor will be there for 40, 50 years. I mean, it's not going to go wrong. It's just the brushes. The batteries. I mean, my EV is now 5 years old. I think it's 2020. And I have a health check on my battery, and it's still at 97% of its original 100. It's going to go on for yonks. And BMW, it's a BMW EV, but and I'll come on to what it is later, but it's guaranteed for 10 years. And that's better than any petrol car. When I bought it, my mechanic said, "Oh, it doesn't burn your garage down." Well, I said, "Put that in the advertising, mate."
It's okay. I'm not putting an explosive liquid into it
in my garage.
In my garage, no explosive liquid, which is needed for the internal combustion engine to actually explode at several
and the maintenance
times a second.
So the only maintenance items on it are discs and pads, and I haven't had those yet. And brake fluid. They change the brake fluid every 2 years. And I mean, I've had cars which had 10-year-old brake fluid in, and it's a bit of a con, but I do it to keep it maintained. But it's like the brake fluid. It's never gonna. I mean, I don't do many miles in it, but it's like that's the only breakable item.
Well, this is one of the reasons. So aside from the fact that the oil companies want us to use petrol cars,
but they're losing anyway. The oil companies, right?
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah. But also garages don't like, and also because the dealerships have been fucking the customers over for ages, right? And here's an example of it. When I was younger, someone broke into my, Ford Fiesta, smashed the window. I'd be able to just go down the scrapyard and put in a new window, no problem, or I get a new handle, or I get a new bit you can't get those little bits now without going to a dealer, and they give you like a quarter of a car. They're like, no, it's all one part. If you smash your one of your lights. They're like, no, they can't just give you a new light like you could on an old car. They've got to give you the entire front wing of the car or something mad. Yeah. And it costs hundreds of pounds. And so they're like, okay, if people are in accidents, we can still screw them. But they used to make so much money out of original parts for cars for people who didn't really care about, or know how to fix the cars without having to resort to go in the dealership. And they're losing out now because the electric cars are so little to go wrong on them.
Yeah,
There's no
that's true.
gearbox. There's no alternator. There's no carburetor. There's no
the service.
manifold.
Honestly, I mean, it was expensive.
Radiator.
It was semi-expensive to buy originally, but the maintenance compared to, I'll go backwards in time. The car I had before the EV,
Yeah.
which is it's an i3S, which is what I got, which I love. Which is the fast little. It was the BMW did a test bed for 10 years, and it was called the i3, and they just did everything they've learned about electric cars came from 10 years of building the i3. So I got the last one made, which doesn't have an engine in it. They had a little petrol engine in all of them, except the last model, which they said we don't need a petrol, because they managed to put a big fucking battery in it. I mean, you don't need a petrol engine, and that made the tax lower, because you didn't have to pay tax on the little engine. And the range is good, and it was all that sort of stuff. But the car I had before was a Mini Cooper Turbo, which I bought new as a demonstrator. I got a massively big, and I loved that Mini Cooper.
Was that old style or new? That was the new style. The BMW.
Yeah, new style. It was 2017. I got it new.
Right, so it was a BMW.
Whatever that was. Yeah, I don't remember the model, but it was a demonstrator, so it had all the things that they don't have. It had leather seats. Most of them don't. It had double sunroof. Most of them don't. It had a head-up display unit.
Double
most of them
sunroof. Get you.
It was because it was a demonstrator, and they were dying to get rid of it, and I didn't pay anywhere near what a new Mini would cost, and it was on the rails. It was the fastest car I've ever owned. It was faster than the 205. It was faster than the ST 2-liter Fiesta. I loved it, and I don't drive like a maniac, but I'm rapid, and I loved it, but I really overthrew lockdown and all that malarkey. It sat there for a year, and I did 200 miles in the lockdown year in it. And it got to the point where I thought, I'm not driving this at all. And then I worked out the furthest journey I was doing in any direction from where I live was 70 miles, the furthest journey. And I thought, I could do that with an EV.
Yeah.
I can go anywhere in an EV. And I thought, I'm going to get the EV. So I bought the i3, and it was quicker. It doesn't have 100. I mean, the Mini was 150 mile an hour top end. My i3 is 100, but I don't. So that didn't matter because I don't drive around at 100. But the 0 to 60 of the electric car is quicker than my 2-liter Mini Turbo. Wow. I can get there quicker, and it just leaves you in the back seat with your legs in the air in a bad way, and just going, oh my god!
How can that ever be a bad way? Anyway,
but it throws you into the back. It's just unbelievable.
Everyone's talking about lithium. Everyone's talking about, is lithium the same? Well, no. The lithium you have in your batteries is lithium ions. So it's the ions that are made. It's a little bit different, but it is the same element that people take for certain mental health problems.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a song I think by Evanescence called Lithium, and there's a song by Nirvana as well. It's not an album from Watch Chicken. It's a song.
That's true.
And I swear I Don't Have a Gun sang Cobain before he blew his brains out with a gun. So there you go. Never trust.
Is it bipolar for lithium? I thought it was.
Yeah, there's certain mental health problems it can help with. It's a very light metal. It's the third element of the periodic table, just after hydrogen and helium.
Yeah.
Lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon.
So
the other ones.
The two side stories then, and then we'll throw it to the chat. So going to breakers yards is my first side story. You were saying you go to the counter now and the guy goes and gets it, or you order the bit online. In the 1980s, you used to go to the dump and the guy would go, "That you want a window winder for a Mark II Escort, Mark I Escort? It's up there.
It's up there." Yeah,
and you would climb up 5 cars in the rain, and the tower would be doing that.
Yep.
And you would go up.
Been there, done that.
And the health and safety is just like, oh no, they would.
Been there, done that. At the old scrapyards on the. There was a couple of scrapyards on the old Dock Road. Don't know if they're still there now, but they were great. You could call up and say, "Have you got an Escort in?" They'll go, "Yeah," and you just turn up and just nick the windows.
Oh, I was always breaking headlamps on the 205 because they were just so big and they would smash all the time, crack. And I was always going to dump some bolting one off a tower. You know,
it was great. You could get a window for like a passenger side door, driver side door for like 15 quid. That was the maddest thing when people used to break into your car like to steal it, and they'll smash the driver's side fucking window. Yeah. So they were sitting on a load of glass. Are they fucking? Well, they are idiots, obviously.
So we used to nick car stereos all the time. Right up to about, I don't know, 95. People were nicking car stereos. I mean, they stopped doing that originally later because you used to have either the front clipped out and a little box, or you pull it out on a handle. But now they're all built into the cars, and nobody nicks them anymore. But you used to. I mean, I had 2 or 3 stereos nicked over my time, and they would smash the driver's window. It was always
to get to it.
Especially, I lived in London for 10 years. It was always happening in London.
When they tried to rob my car, there was like a little immobilizer thing that I had. It wasn't like a proper immobilizer. I would just literally go out, and there was a loose clip on the starter motor. I'd just pull that out.
Oh.
And then if you turn the key or tried to start it, it just wouldn't start.
Well,
you could push start it without the starter motor.
Well, my brother, that Mark 1 Escort, he bought an alarm for it, and it was wired onto the horn, and all it was like a piece of tin.
Yeah.
With it, and it hit a screw that was a magnet. It was a magnet. So it went dunk like that, so it was lying like that, and all you had to do was rock the car, and the bit of tin went like that, and it went dunk, and then the alarm would go off because it would hit the magnetic screw. And so his mates would come out of a pub and rock it, and it would go off. Dunk,
yeah,
it was a really annoying. It was just a £5 alarm he bought from some dodgy second-hand car place.
I kind of there's a part of me that misses the days when your mate had a problem with the car and you could just pull up the bonnet and just look at it and go, you need to do that cable's come out, so that needs plugging in, or
my dad was an engineer like yours. Yeah, and he made us all learn.
It was quite satisfying, because I always think fixing stuff is really satisfying. But I think that either getting into a car when someone's in tears because they've locked the keys in the car, which doesn't really happen these days, but you used to be able to lock your keys in the car.
Yeah.
But also getting a car started, a push start.
Yeah.
And just seeing someone go, how did that happen? It's magic. And you're like, oh well, if you know how to do it, you know how to do it. I also remember when I would test drive cars that we had fixed at my dad's garage. Like, you get in a car and you'd start, and then you realise that every time you stopped, because it hadn't been tuned correctly, every time you stopped, the engine stopped. So what you'd be doing is you'd be trying to drive down like Queen's Drive or something and not stop. So you'll see the red light a mile away and you'll be like, right, I'm just going to drive really fucking slowly towards this. And as soon as it went to green, you put the foot down so you got through it before, so it didn't stop.
Everybody, driving up to the lights without stopping. The other one, near I live, there's a hill called Drain Hill, and it's a long hill, goes up about a mile long, and there's 100 manhole covers on it.
Yeah.
And people try to drive, when we were teenagers, was to drive up that hill as fast as you can, like a hill climb, and not run over any of the drain covers. So you had to zigzag like Tron all the way up the hill, going flat out. And the idea was not to run over any of the, there are fucking loads of them. It was like trying to zigzag up, and I know, we were just kids. But so project cars. I had 2 side project cars.
Before you tell us about the side project cars.
Yeah.
Ivan has just dropped another £20 in the super chat fund.
Really
Thank you so much, Ivan.
Nobody gives us money on this show.
I know. Ivan's just made it worth it. Thank you so much, Ivan. Although just your company alone is worth it, obviously. But Ivan, thank you. I won't go through every single car I used to have. You can if you like, mate.
Yeah,
but my final car before
down the rabbit hole, anything goes.
Rachel is before my final car before having to surrender my driving license on medical grounds was a Honda Accord 2.2 litre turbo diesel, great to drive with a manual 6-speed gearbox.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, but manuals now, going back to a manual and having to put down the fucking clutch. Especially when you're in a traffic jam and the cars are moving really slowly. Oh!
Well, my wife has a big old diesel, so I drive that occasionally, and I go, "Oh, I'm driving a Planet Killer," and
noisy, smelly Planet Killer.
I can't remember. I haven't stopped to put petrol in a car in about 3 years. It's like I'm out of practice now. So I drive it, and then I go, "It's empty. Your car's empty. You need to put some more diesel in it."
Yeah.
But and to be fair to her, she drives my car almost all the time as well. Her diesel just sits in the garage, and we use that for incredibly long journeys. So it just sits there. If we were going to go to France or something and drive 1,000 miles, we would take her car, because I'd have to stop 6 times, and I don't want to, ours isn't a long distance EV like some of them now. Ours is a sort of, it's got a 170-mile range, so you wouldn't be able to drive. You'd be stopping a lot. Though I did go down to Dorset in it not long ago, and did it in one trip without charging.
Yeah. Well, we get to Liverpool, and then in Liverpool we can drive to town and back. We can went over to Birkenhead to visit a mate of ours without charging. And we were still over 20. We don't like letting it go under 20%. It's not great.
Yeah, but you don't have to worry about that. Before I bought it, well, I don't know if it's true on your EV, right? But on what I learned is that the batteries are basically, if you think of it, is they're 120. But I know you can't have 120%. Your 100 is the middle section.
Yeah.
So when you go down to 0, there is actually more on the battery that you don't see. And when you're at 100, there's a bit more. So you can run down to 0 and it doesn't damage the battery because you're not like the first early ones used to.
Yeah.
So you can go to 0 and it doesn't damage it because you're not really at 0. You can't get it. You can't get it, but it's there.
Yeah. Yeah. But your car will stop.
Yeah. You do stop. Well, mine does slow down, and then it switches into eco. Then it switches into super eco. Then it says you're a fucking idiot. Then it stops.
Never got that far. Never got that far. But Tinkernator saying EVs are very unpopular, though. A lot of people I know in the Liberal PMC are put off and prefer the internal combustion engine car. Charging and range anxiety are big deal breakers for many.
I've never had range anxiety.
We've got a driveway, so it's the side of the house. We can park at the side of the house.
Yeah.
So that's great because that means we can charge. I understand people living in the other terrace houses around here.
Yeah.
We're at the end of the street, so we're pretty lucky in that respect. Yeah. But like most of the other houses, you have to park outside the house. And what the government can do, or the local government here, but not going to because it's refuck and it's for the billionaires and the oil men.
Yeah.
But they can drill. All you need is an angle grinder and a little metal trough, and you just put it in the road, put it in the pavement, and you can put the cable in that trough and run the cable from the front of your house to the car across the pavement, and that's a safe way of doing it. But when it comes to range anxiety, I don't get this at all.
I don't get that at all. Because you do the petrol. I mean, it's like, you just there's thousands of fucking charging points. They all come up on the screen in the car. Say, there's one.
Electricity's everywhere.
There's one. Yeah, I never worry about that. The thing is about so you don't. It just drives me mad that they go, I can't charge at home. It's level 2 charging at home, right? You have the granny charger that takes 15 hours, or you have a level 2 charger that takes 5 hours, or you can fast charge at fucking BP, take 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Well, what do? You don't go, I don't have a petrol pump in my living room. I'm not getting a car. Of course you do. You buy a car and you go to a garage. You can go and fast charge at a BP garage and you're 20 minutes buy a coffee. So you don't have to charge at your fucking house.
Yeah.
Because there are chargers everywhere. Just go to
we do need more infrastructure.
We do need more. And if you build a new house, put a solar panel on the roof and put a fucking charger on the driveway.
But I believe that the person who made up the term range anxiety was also the same person who made up the term carbon footprint, carbon capture change, hydrogen fuel cell, and all of these buzz terms that don't fucking mean anything, invented by the oil companies to make people.
The oil companies sponsor loads of influencers, like all the petrolhead guys on YouTube, and I watch loads of them. I love them, but when they do an EV, it's always one that is an old technology EV. It's got a small battery. It's a bit shagged, and they go, "Oh, I had to stop 8 times in my Jaguar 5.9. I did it in a tank." And they always do those comparisons with a really shitty EV, and they always slag it off. And it's never done. And there's a guy who's got a Porsche, and he's got a Porsche EV, and all he does loads of programs about why it's a shit car, and he hates it, and I'm sure these guys that run these are sponsored by oil companies. Like, don't get one. Don't get a Porsche EV. It's shit. No, they're not. They're the best. But who can afford that? It's just, and I say that some of the petrol heads, they slag them off, and it's always a generation 1 that doesn't fast charge or something. The new BYDs coming out of China, you can pull up at a petrol pump and charge it in 3 minutes.
Well, the amount of EVs sold in 2024, last year, was 17 million units, right?
Yeah.
And that was a 25%, a quarter increase on the year before. Yeah. Like everything's going towards EVs because
they're all geared up for it. They're all tooled up for it.
Yeah, they're fucking awesome. They are,
they are
and
awesome.
I don't know anyone who has had one and then gone back.
You never go back. And I think the other thing,
I've heard of people, but I've never actually met one.
Yeah.
It's like people who like Mrs. Brown's Boys. I've heard of them, but I've never actually met one.
No, nobody likes Mrs. Brown's Boys. Robbie Gibb. I think the I think it's like the stuff in China. The emissions are falling in China. They knew
Yeah.
they would peak and then they fall. Everything is moving forward. The oil companies can fuck off.
The oil companies own Trump, though. They own
They do, but he's
Farage.
gonna die. His brain is mush. He's an arsehole. He's gonna die. And then I think things will change.
Can't come quickly enough.
Yeah. No.
Talking of people
That's
dying,
politics, no politics.
Quinton Wilson died at the weekend, points out Sarah. Yeah.
I used to like Quinton Wilson.
I liked him as well. He's very posh.
Fifth Gear. He used to go, you buy this Mercedes for $5,000, put a personal plate on it. Looks like you're getting out of a 90,000 pound car. He used to be really real gentleman. Yeah, that's right. Project cars. So I bought 2 project cars.
Yeah.
One was a car that we bought off eBay for next to nothing because it was going to go to the tip, and this was a 944S Porsche. It was shagged. So I'm not a Porsche owner, I'm not rich or anything, but I decided that I needed a project because my Mini, if you lifted the bonnet, you couldn't see the engine. It was covered in plastic, and it would invalidate the warranty if I did any work on it. And I wanted a hammer, and I wanted to get spanners out and work on something because I used to be an engineer, and that bug never goes. So we bought this old 944, and actually the engine block had been rebuilt and it was fine. Everything else, nothing worked. All the electrics were buggered. The water pumps, I drove back from Oxfordshire in it with the exhaust gases leaking into the car because there was a hole in the exhaust, banging headache. Did 100 miles an hour in it at one point just to see if it would do it on a private road, wink. And it did it. And I thought, oh, this is actually car, but it was absolutely terrible. Yeah. So I spent, my wife and I spent, the bodywork was all right. We new alternator, new starter, new radiator, new all that stuff. I did all the wiring, electric sunroof, pop-up headlamps, all that stuff. By the end, after 3 years of working on it and buying all the parts off eBay, and a lot of VW parts fit Porsches, it's just the Porsche tax, so you buy VW bits. It was a really nice car, and we sold it, I don't know, about 7-8 months ago to a dealer up north, and made it. Well, didn't make a lot of money on it, but we made a little bit on it. And it was a nice car. We saved it, right?
Oh, nice,
we saved it.
Nice.
It was going to go to the dump. It was terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I restored that and my other project car was a 2000 P98 Range Rover. It was, the reason I bought it is because this is when, there was Range Rover Classic, which everybody remembers from the 70s. And then Land Rover decided to get a Range Rover and fill it full of electrical products, loads of computers, all untested. None of them talk to each other, all affected by damp and wet. I know I bought this car from Liverpool on eBay, and the guy had videos of it, and it looked lovely. It looked lovely in the videos. And what it actually was this guy, I bought it off eBay. This guy was showing the videos of the owner he bought it from 3 years before. He wrecked it. So when it came down, it came off a lorry. It was pushed onto my driveway, and the lorry fucked off before I could talk to the driver. The hole in the radiator, hole in the diesel tank. None of the lights worked. The suspension didn't go up and down. Nothing lit up on the dashboard. Had a battery with a piece of wood holding it in place. The battery was about 3 times too small. It was in terrible condition. I thought I've been ripped off. And so I wasn't going through a great time in my life then. So I just walked out. I thought, okay, I'm going to do one job on this every day. So that day I just changed the headlamp bulb that didn't work. And then I walked away. Next day I came back and changed the washer motor, and the next day I came back and fixed the heating motors, and the next day I came back and did the battery, and then I realized it was underpowered because the turbo pipes were all missing, and then I did that, and I did the radiator, then I did all the gas bags, and then and it took me 3 years.
Wow. And
by the end of it was this champagne gold Range Rover that went up and down properly, that had an early sat nav, one of the first sat navs in it, which cost £3. It was a 3,000 optional extra when it was built, that car.
Yeah.
I got it working, power steering, all the lit up, the electric sunroof. I started doing wooden panel. It looked a bit like Tom Baker's TARDIS. I bought loads of wooden panels for the inside, had it all did beautiful wood.
Yeah.
And it was lovely. And you know what? I sold it after 3 years, and I made a massive loss because I'd spent tons on it, but it was therapy because I wasn't feeling very well. And I sold it because I was so worried that it was going to go wrong. there's a light that comes on the dashboard, which Land Rover owners called the checkbook symbol.
Yeah.
And it comes on and something expensive is gone. And it was always expensive. All the parts on eBay were, you could get there, all the parts, all secondhand. It was a beautiful car, but everything, God, there's a curse. Land Rover owners will know it if you've ever had one, where you'll think you're going to get your car perfect. It fools you. It just replace this airbag and then I'll be fine. So you spend like 200 quid on an airbag to make the thing go up and down. And then the other one goes, and you think, oh no, I'll just do that airbag. It's gonna be fine. And then the stereo fails, so you get another stereo, and it's gonna be. And then the speaker goes, and then the wiper breaks, and then the washer motor goes, and then you never ever get there with an old Land Rover. It's Land Rover curse. It won't let you. It won't let you. So they were my project. That was my 2 project cars. The Land Rover saved my life because I was in I had a bit of a breakdown and stuff in the early 2000s. And that car kept me occupied. I did something on it every day. And although it cost me loads of cash to get it done, I thought that was cheaper than therapy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was just looking up, talking about project cars. I was thinking about my dad's project. So he had a Morgan 3-wheeler.
Nice.
From the 1930s, which the third wheel was at the back. So it had 2 front wheels and 1 back wheel.
I remember those,
green. It was shaped like a torpedo almost. He had the Jaguar E-Type. He had he had various little sports cars like MGs and stuff that he would do up. He had a frog-eyed Sprite.
Yep, I know those.
Them? Yep. And he had a Jaguar XJ12C Broadspeed. It was a replica of Steed's Jaguar in the New Avengers. Wow. And he got that and he did it up. And it had Jaguar written on the back in reflective letters across the back. I just remember and he'll get these cars and he'll fix them up and then he'll flip them and sell them. And so the front of me mum and dad's house always looked like a bloody used car lot. Do you know what I mean? He's always buying and selling a little bit.
I suppose you're not a car person. You were a tinkerer.
No, I mean, I was a little bit, I guess, but then I like fixing stuff. So me too. That's still with me. And the amount of stuff I fixed around the house, that the girls were making a joke about it yesterday. Oh, Graham, we'll fix it. But Kat is very much kind of like, oh, this is broken. We need to call a plumber. This is broken. We need to call an electrician. This is, not working. We'll have to take it to the garage. And I'm like, well, can I have a look at it? And she's always a bit sus. She's always a bit like, okay, Graham. But then I fix it up and it works. She's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And she still doesn't have any confidence in me whatsoever. Yeah. But I definitely got that from my dad.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I'm the same. My dad was an aerospace engineer. I was an aerospace engineer. Yeah. And we are have-a-go heroes. We think we can fix everything. Yeah. So I might have a go I might have a go at the loo and it might be a disaster. And then I do have to call the camera out. But I have fixed 2 loos. My wife is really, I've taken vacuum cleaners apart. I've just repaired an old Amstrad computer. I've just got that going. And a Sinclair Z88 thing. I like buying broken things off eBay that nobody can make.
It's so satisfying getting stuff to work. It is just like there's a real joy to it. It's like, haha.
I win. Those solar generators. Those battery solar generators.
Yeah.
You can get on They're fucking expensive. I'm trying to buy one that's broken so I can fix it.
Yeah.
Because it could. I told you the story. I bought that Korg M1 synthesizer. They're
the pink one.
Quid. Yeah. I mean, they're 800 quid, a good M1 Korg M1 synthesizer. Yeah. I bought that one that was bright pink. Somebody painted it, brush painted over the displays, the keys. I bought it for 100 quid off eBay. And my wife and I spent 3 days with alcohol removing all the paint. I then rewired it, put a few bits on it. It works. It's worth 800 quid.
Brilliant.
And it cost. And it was 3 days' work, but I loved doing it. We were sitting there listening to podcasts. Listening to you mainly. While we were wiping the pink paint off with alcohol.
But this is it. Like the way that the modern world wants you to use things once and throw it away does my fucking head in. Oh, big shout out to Ivan who's just dropped another £5 in the super chat fund. Thank you so much, Ivan. Okay, my 4th car, Toyota Aventus, 1.8 litre petrol. Decent car, but no word of a lie. The engine oil had to be topped up every month. Yeah.
Do you remember when you had to do that though? You had to
top
put
up the oil and water, before every long journey.
People used to check their tire pressures every week. They don't do that now.
No, they don't.
They don't do that. Oh, what's the cars aren't like that now?
But my dad would assume that everyone knew as much about cars as he did, so he would lambast people, and go, "Well, you didn't check your oil and water." And they're like, "I didn't know I had to." And it's like, "Oh, how could you not know that?" But I kind of. There are some things I miss about it, but there's a lot that I don't. And I think the smell and the dirt, with an internal combustion, everything's fucking dirty. Yeah. You open the bonnet of our car, our electric car, it's all beautifully clean still.
Well, you open the bonnet of my car, there's a place to put bags. Yeah. there's the motor, you can't see the motor.
Yeah. And isn't that fantastic? I mean, that I like the cleanness. Yeah. I like not having my hands smelling of diesel for the rest of the day because the diesel pump handle smelt of diesel.
Yeah.
Emma's
diesel
disgusting.
is like that. And I hate diesel when you change the oil in a diesel car. Yeah. It goes black immediately. Yeah. Whereas at least you do that on a petrol car, it stays lovely and clear for a while.
I've never done an oil change on a petrol car that stayed clear. It's always been bloody disgusting.
Well, then I don't know. Then something else is wrong with your
oil change. Doing an oil change. Go on. Oh, can we go back to the days when you used to get under your car and you used to you used to take the little plug out and unscrew it and then you put it and you'd always get oil all over your fingers because obviously the oil
would miss
the tray and then you'd have to get out the oil absorbent granules and then you'd have to get the Swarfiger out to get.
But also don't forget you take the oil filter off and then that would run down your arm.
Yes. Great. Thanks for that, car. Filthy animals. Old cars are filthy fucking animals. You may as well shove your arm up a cow's arse.
I loved it at the time. Doing discs and pads on my 205.
But what I like is now I think that internal combustion engines are going to become more classics. They're going to be cars that are projects that people work to put together. And I think that'll be great, and they go out once every now and again and for a blast. I don't mind that. It's just the everyday. It's just that we have 20 million people sitting in fucking cars in a fucking traffic jam every fucking Friday night.
Yeah.
Polluting the world and destroying our planet and destroying our country. And
I don't know, I'm beginning to become, apart from all the China, I follow a load of EV forums. The Chinese, they was going to pollute more before they started to come down, and they are coming down.
They are coming down now.
They almost totally drive electric cars, and a lot of other countries are moving that way. It's just moving towards that. It should be quicker. And you're just seeing Australia's cover themselves in solar panels, and they're like, hang on, this is free. What we're doing, buying it from, and there's a lot more wake up to that.
Yeah.
And I am optimistic it's going to happen quickly now, but it may be too late. I don't know, but I am feeling more. And China's like, oh, we've just built a fusion reactor. I think it works, And then it's like, fuck, we've been trying to get fusion going over here for ages. And the Chinese.
I'll believe it when I see it, Rach.
Yeah, but they have built.
I'm very cynical about fusion.
Oh, I know you are. Cold fusion. Ooh.
Cold fusion. I'm particularly cynical about cold fusion.
Yeah.
No way, Jose.
Good, yeah. Well, good job you're good about carbon capture, because if you weren't, then I'd be very worried,
Anyway, yes. Anyway, I know we've got a hard stop tonight at 10 past 7, so we've rabbited on down the rabbit hole for an hour.
Anything goes down the rabbit hole.
Yes.
I thought I'd rabbit around some cars and then some stories.
But I'm Pete saying I love my Triumph motorbike. If it breaks, I fix it. Easy to work on. Goes like stinks. Sounds awesome. Yeah, it sounds too fucking noisy, Pete. Stop making all the noise. Why do all these bikers go to little quiet villages in Yorkshire at the weekend and you're sitting there in a cafe and then suddenly it's just like
I don't know. I think the old classics are more sort of rumbles.
Motorbikes.
It's the guys that buy
the motorbikes. They do
the guys
them
that buy the Yamaha 125.
Yeah,
then they the exhaust pipe off.
Yeah, so they make as much noise as possible. Look at me, everyone! I'm a very special boy. Yeah, pack that in.
I like the old rumbles of all the, a lot of my friends are having midlife crisis and they've got...
Fine, go somewhere noisy. Go to a city. It's noisy anyway. And sit in the traffic and the ring roads in your souped up banana pants thing. And fine, I don't care.
What I like about motorbikes is I met this guy I was on a cruise a long time ago, and he ran a market stall in London. I remember this, and he was rich as fuck. And I said, well, how did you make your fortune? He said, I make leather bike suits. And I said, well, what's so specialist about that? He goes, I make leather bike suits that are adjusted in the middle for the guys who are having their midlife crisis.
Yeah.
So he was making thin suits top bottom, but they were a little bit let out in the middle for the mid-range. And he was selling loads of those, and he made his fortune selling adjusted bike suits for mature guys who are having a midlife crisis.
Midlife crisis costumes. Yeah. Ivan, that'd be great in Halloween, wouldn't it? Where do you come out? Someone having a midlife crisis. Ivan, thank you very much for another £5 super chat. Thank you, Ivan. Incredibly generous of you this evening.
That is so generous.
Thank you so much, Ivan, my friend. Yeah. There is concern that modern headlights are too bright and dangerously dazzling to other road users and pedestrians. I couldn't agree more. I hate going out in the winter when it's dark, just because I get dazzled so much.
I'd hate that about my i3. They've got LED. It's some BMW thing. I get flashed all the time, and they're self-leveling. They've been set a million times at the garage when I have an MOT.
Stop
and I get flashed all the time.
But when you get flashed, they're blinding you because they're putting the full beams on to flash you.
Yeah, they are.
Do you know, this is really funny. I just want to tell you this now. I wrote in my notes, focus, and I was just looking at it going,
Ford Focus.
Did I ever own a Ford Focus? And I'm like, why the fuck did I write Focus? I never had a Ford Focus. I'm thinking of this. I wrote it down because I had to focus the fucking camera. Earlier, I had to adjust the focus so it was on manual rather than auto.
Well, the ST220 Focus was nice, but I never owned one of those. But I really like those.
Well, didn't Ford, they decided to get sort of a focus group in to find out what they should call their new cars. And they came up with the Focus and the car.
Yeah, do you know what? They don't make a car SI.
I don't get it.
Carzy.
See what you did there. I always like the idea that a Vauxhall Nova in Spanish means doesn't go.
Yeah.
Nova means not, if it's two words. But then, it is one word. So it'll be like notable. You don't go, oh, and I've got no table.
It's like that joke. There's
therapist.
My
what?
famous car joke is like, the guy's crossing the Italian border and it's all held up, and he goes, what's holding us up? He goes, oh, it's the guard. He's arguing with the car, the Quattro at the front. He's only got 3 people in there. He goes, what? Quattro doesn't mean it has to have 4 people in it. Quattro is the 4-wheel drive. No. He goes, well, I'll go in the other queue. No, you can't, because he's arguing with the couple in the Uno.
That's pretty bad. Do you remember the old adverts for going to work on an egg?
Go on.
Go to work on an egg. Don't you remember this? For selling eggs. You say, go to work on an egg. Yeah. So I got an egg. It broke down, didn't it? So I called up the AA and he said, have you pulled the yolk out? So I tried it and I called him back and said, yeah, pulled the yolk out. It's all white now.
Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. It's like the old joke about the guy goes and does, I want a VW Beetle, but it's got to have I want an S-Reg on it. And the guy goes, why do you want an S-Reg? That's the old registration. And it needs to have an S on it. And he goes, why? Oh, it's a snail going.
It's a snail. I was going to say it's not a beetle, it's a snail.
It's a snail.
Go on, I wasn't going to interrupt your joke. But...
Abandoned joke.
Go on. You're nearly there.
So a snail goes into a showroom and says, I want to buy a Volkswagen Beetle. And the guy says, okay. And he goes, and it's got to be S-Reg. And they said to the snail, we don't sell S-Reg cars. Why do you want an S-Reg car? He says, well, when I drive it, I want people to go, look at the S-car go. Is there a tank?
I've already done the squeaky tank once for my shit joke, but I'll bring it out again for yours. Squeaky tank moment. Aren't you glad you waited till the end of the show to see what happens, everybody? Like, oh, man.
I don't do a stand-up. Actually, I want to ask you about Covfefe, right? Because I watch your show all the time. And obviously I'm not... When you say we've done Covfefe, what happens? Because I don't see anything happen.
So if you're watching it live...
Yeah,
with the video, but you've also got the chat up. So not this chat at the side of the screen here, but actually the chat that comes up, independently of that.
Oh, you mean if I go onto YouTube?
Yeah. So when people put in the last of the super chats, whether it's 5 or 10 or whatever, you get like little confetti comes down, little animation.
Right. because I have on my big screen. I watch it on telly, and
we call it confetti because that's what Trump sort of.
I get the confetti. I just thought it was like I never see anything happen. You go, yay, confetti, and I go, what the fuck? What?
Yeah, but I can't see it either. I've just got to keep an eye on my chat at the top. Yeah. It says 10 out of 10. I'm like, yes, confetti. Yeah.
Question answered.
Woo! Anyway, okay. Well, listen, I'm off to the cinema. I'm going to go and see Begonia. I don't know how to pronounce it. Begonia. Nice. With Emma Stone, and she's lovely, and she's such a great person to go to the cinema with. And I'm going to go with Ben Chambers of 16 Million Rising SMR Radio. Please check out his podcast. It's very good. He's very good at doing those voices, like you got on the radio, where he's going, "Hey, what's happening? We're on the radio."
And a big hello to all you truckers out there.
So I'll let you know. It's the same director as Poor Things and The Lobster and The Favourite. So it should be fucking weird. And it's got Jesse Plimpkins in it. Or Plimpy Jackins, who always plays... Poor guy, he always plays a fucking villain. He's been a little bit typecast, methinks. But yeah, so I'll let you know in the morning how we get on, whether it's a good movie or not. But until then, I'll see you tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, bright and early, on the Morning Brew. Got a packed schedule tomorrow because we've got the Morning Brew. And then in the evening, me and Wayne, he's promised not to be problematic. Wayne is going to join me for the Swear Jar. So we're doing a special episode of the Swear Jar tomorrow at 6 o'clock. So please join us for that. Okay, until then, I'll say thank you so much for watching. Big shout out to Ivan for the super chats. Thank you. That is really kind of you. If you want to give us a like on the way out, that would always be a good thing. Never a bad thing. And until next time, I'll say keep on trucking. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.